It's just one of them nights. One of them nights be like in it down.
Are we live?
We're live.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
live. GM, Adrienne. Okay, so she wanted to start the show
with some Friday music.
With some happy Friday music from Gigamesh on Farcaster. And I'm going to stop at the 30-second mark because I don't want you two to be like, no, you can't play that.
I got permission. I got permission from the producer.
YouTube doesn't know that. YouTube doesn't know that. Trust me. Just trust. Trust when I say this. But that was really cool. That's a vibe. That is a vibe for sure. And we'll have to play it again when we
Can
talk
we just
about
play
that
5-second increments?
Yeah, we can just play a little bit more, but that's a total vibe. And let me find, now I have to find that actual tab so I can, oh, here it is. We can actually share. I know we're not even starting the show yet, but I'm still going to share this because so people know what the heck we're talking about. This was Gigamesh's new single and has already my new single with Thomas Adagio is at about 300K streams in the first 20 days. So that is very cool. So shout out Gigamesh to start us off on this happy Friday. We like the music. It's very good. So yeah, we're starting with a little groove. That was a good groove. So we'll have to, we'll bring it back. We'll bring it back towards the end, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Yes, and I apologize for making people wait. I really had my vision to start the show with music, and I don't know how. I didn't know how to do that.
And she didn't know how to do it. So we had a little moment trying to get that done, just so we could have that little jam at the beginning. So there you go. And then we'll have to kick it out back at the end as well. All right. Anyway, GM, happy Friday. We're gonna get rolling because we're already a little behind. But if you are watching over on Twitter, if you're watching on Farcaster, if you're watching in any of the places, Pine Tree, Den, wherever you're watching, go share it. Go tell your friends. And we'll be back on the other side of this 41 seconds with 29 minutes, probably a little less actually today, of Farcaster News to start your day. And then at 9 a.m., we have Saltorious popping by to talk about Among Traitors, my background right here. And I am excited because I really like this new game. So we'll see you on the other side of this 41-second intro. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, NounishProf and Adrienne, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Friday, March 13th. Oh, shit. It's March 13th. It's Friday the 13th. Happy Friday the 13th, if you will. And you are here with NounishProf and Adrienne for 29 minutes-ish, probably 20-ish minutes of Farcaster News to start your day. And then we have Saltorious joining us for a chat about his new mini app game called Among Traitors, and it is really fun. I played it the other day and immediately was like, we need to get you on and see if we can play it live. So that's the plan for the second half of the show. I'm excited. Fun fact, there are 3 Fridays the 13th in 2026, the most there can be in a year. So does that mean, no, probably not. Probably not, because it was a leap year. I heard somebody say the last Friday the 13th we had in March, last March Friday the 13th we had was in 2020. So people kept saying maybe this will reset the timeline.
That's not how timelines work.
Is that not how it works? Are you sure?
Not how calendars.
Maybe
how calendars work. Sure.
Simulation reset? Anybody? Anybody? I just thought
Never
that
what
was,
you wish for.
I don't know.
You're more likely getting a worse one. Just saying.
That's a good point. That's an excellent point. All right, let's dive in because we do have some things to chat about today. First off, if you're seeing weird balances, looks like you're missing money in your wallet on Farcaster, you're not. Something's going on where the fetch wallet balances are not coming in clearly. So this is from Manan. Hi all, working through some underlying changes to where we fetch wallet balances from. Quite a few token and total balances are showing up inaccurately right now. We're fixing the inaccuracies. Appreciate the patience. So I noticed this with USDC. I also noticed that Hype is not showing anymore. It's just like disappeared completely. I actually thought I did a swap and then I'm like, no, you know what? I don't think that swap worked at all because I think something is going on with the Hyperliquid chain. Something's wrong. So there's a couple little weird things going on. If you're seeing issues, I had withdrawn my USDC from lending yesterday just to do some other things with it. And then all of a sudden it looks like it's just gone. I'm like, that's not good. But I think, and I haven't checked this yet, so someone else check me. I think if you export your Farcaster wallet to something else, you should be able to see them, I'm guessing. Like if you
Better be able to.
Rainbow, I would assume.
Yeah.
I can see it also on Etherscan. Like I could see everything there. So I think it's just, yeah.
Yeah, no one's touching the underlying funds. It's
Right.
just how you're viewing them. So, and this happens all the time. I mean, I have wallets loaded up in multiple, or I guess, what's the term? Addresses. I mean, I have multiple like wallets loaded in different wallets, whatever, different views. And I see different balances. I see different assets. So
because you have yours exported to Rainbow also or something like that, right? So you see, so that because if you're not familiar, the Farcaster warplet, as we like to call it, you can't use it for external sites. So a lot of people have exported to other wallets so they can use it. I have not done that, but
I've even exported before the warplet, which is kind of the embedded wallet, was invented. I exported my Farcaster custody wallet.
Oh, okay.
Address, which is like what holds your account. So I have that also somewhere else as well.
So many ways to do this. All right.
And if someone takes that key, they will take my identity. So we have to protect
Careful
that.
out there. Careful out there. All right. Moving on. We also had this from the Farcaster team or the Nanar team. Build mini apps inside the mini apps tab. Send feedback. So you can now access the Nanar Studio from within the Farcaster mobile app. Just click the Create App button from the Mini Apps tab. You'll also be seamlessly signed in with your Farcaster account or automatically signed up for the free tier if it's your first time trying out the studio. Happy vibe coding, build something awesome. So there's now this little button here that looks like the Mini App tab or icon. And if you click that, that'll bring you into the Nanar Studio. So there you go. Something new to try. Especially if you haven't tried vibe coding anything, go ahead. Give it a try on the free tier. See what you can make. I've been vibe coding things. So we'll talk about that later. Moving on. Also, just another note. We've mentioned this before, but they're still in the process of finalizing the deal of acquiring Farcaster from Merkle. So just a little grace, just giving a little grace here. They might have to, for the wallet stuff, they may have to contact Sloke. Because he has things usually fixed in like minutes, but he's a different kind of dev. He's on a different level than most. All right. And then there was this in like, I guess I would call this international news. So it looks like someone swapped 50 million into 36K on Aave today. Reminder that however your day is going, it could be much worse. So what happened actually, and I learned more about this, that, okay, so a fresh wallet had received 50 million USDT from Binance. And then just a bit ago, they swapped the entire amount, 50 million, mobile swap. I don't know how somebody could figure that out, but somebody did, for 327 Aave, which was worth $36,000 rather than 50 million, due to routing, liquidity, slippage, whole bunch of reasons.
Price impact.
And there is so then Stani had from Aave had posted there is a check this box so that you are swapping now and you're getting this major price impact. And the person did check the box and do the swap. And they paid 154K per Aave in the same block. An MEV bot immediately flash borrowed 29 million WETH from, hold on, I got to pull up the full thing because I can't remember exactly, via Bancor at fair value, dumped the Aave into sushi swap pool, repaid the flash loan, and pocketed 9.9 million. So the first thought on this was that somebody messed up and lost all this money. The further investigation is somebody may have done this purposefully to launder money. So in other words, that 50 million might have been stolen from a hack, something else, what have you, some kind of exploit. It was being laundered in this way. That's the current thinking. More to come. I don't know if Zach has weighed in on this, Zach XP2 yet, but there's a lot of evidence to show that this was not an intentional accident, that it may have been an intentional thing, that somebody had that MEV bot ready to go to do all these other things and then end up with a 9.9 million clean, quote unquote, clean funds. So we'll see. And there's also some speculation, and I'm not going to say who the speculation's about. You can go find out as to who this is. I'm not going to say this live on a thing and get sued for defamation if I'm wrong. So there is some speculation as to who it may be who have done this. So apparently this is true. The blockchain is transparent and things can be tracked. That is, every time people go into crypto about like, oh, it's, only for people who want to scam and only for people who are criminals and all this stuff. I'm like, there's a little bit of that, but also you can trace everything. So usually a lot of times these people get caught because they're not also criminals sometimes aren't that bright. So yes, but also cash is still, still better for full on crime, non-traceable cash. Yeah. Not the traceable.
Is that official? Is that legal advice?
That is not legal advice. I'm not giving legal advice to those committing crimes, but I'm just saying, like, if you're out there going, only criminals use crypto, first of all, you're going to be proven extremely wrong very soon because you'll probably be using it. But also, this is the kind of thing that happens. Is like you can trace a lot of the activity and start to put pieces together and use things like bubble maps and all this kind of stuff. So, but very interesting. Very interesting. All right, moving on. But that was the big chatter yesterday. And along those lines, also a note from Horsefax. Aren't you glad you learned about price impact? So this was a while back when there was some trading going on where people were getting hit with some price impact, and there was talk about slippage versus price impact. I said 3% slippage and still got wrecked on a swap. What happened? Price impact, slippage, and liquidity are three distinct concepts that are related, and sometimes conflated. And then there was a bit of more explanation about that. So if you want to learn more about that particular piece, you can read Horsefax Cast, which will be in our show notes. But it is a good point. Like slippage is what you're willing to accept, but sometimes price impact goes way beyond that. And liquidity is a whole other ballgame. All right, moving on to more fun things. All right, don't crash out, Adrienne.
This was not my crash out. What are you talking about? My crash out cast had nothing to do with base yesterday, just so you know.
Okay. Okay.
For the record.
We're updating how apps work in the Base app. This is from Base. Over the next few weeks, we're rolling out new base.dev primitives for metadata, notifications, and distribution, designed to simplify how apps are built, managed, and surfaced. As part of this shift, the Base app will move off Farcaster mini app spec and NANAR-powered infrastructure on April 9, so about a month from now-ish. The goal is straightforward: to make building more seamless by removing custom specs and enabling standard web apps with wallet connectivity powered by industry standard tooling and Base native infrastructure. Below is what's changing, when it's happening, and how to migrate. What's changing? Self-managed metadata. Mid-March, you'll be able to manage your app's metadata directly in base.dev, including icons, taglines, descriptions, and screenshots. Today, this data comes from your Farcaster mini app manifest, but soon you'll have a dedicated dashboard in base.dev to update it directly. Your existing metadata has already been backfilled, so none of it disappears. 2, base.dev notifications API, April 9. We're introducing a first-party notifications API. So instead of managing Farcaster tokens, FIDs, and third-party webhooks, you'll send notifications directly to wallet addresses via base.dev. Our builder platform will then handle user permissions, opt-in state, and delivery. Basically, notifications join metadata and distribution in a single base.dev surface. 3, unified browser plus standard web infrastructure. I'm going to guess 2 was actually your crush out, but I could be wrong. Unified browser plus standard web infrastructure, April 9. On April 9, support for the Farcaster mini app spec and NANAR-powered metadata notifications inside the Base app will end. From that point forward, your app operates as a standard web app. Wallet connectivity works out of the box. No custom mini app SDK is required. If you distribute through Farcaster clients like Warpcast, which is actually called Farcaster now, but let's confuse everybody.
That is the most wildest in this entire long cast that you're reading wonderfully. The comment about Warpcast being the Farcaster client is the most telling.
Yeah, those integrations can remain in place. This change applies specifically to the Base app. Well, duh. Tooling guidance. If you're currently using mini app specific wrappers like MiniKit or OnChain Kit, or relying heavily on Farcaster specific tooling, we recommend migrating to standard Web3 tooling like SIWE for authentication and WAGMI VM for wallet connection and on-chain transactions. Well, maybe. You're going to have to decide that for your own specific use cases, because you might want Farcaster sign-in for various reasons. The team has created an agent skills repo so your preferred agent can help you build with ease, including a mini app migration skill. So that is helpful. And more info can be found in our docs here. The long-term direction is all about open, composable, web-native tooling. And for now, everything will continue to work as is until the new infrastructure is live. No features will be removed before their replacements are ready. Migration guide by app type. I'm not going to get into all of this. You can take a look if this applies to you, but there are some good tools here. It's very long. I am going to read this part. Note to builders. We're incredibly grateful to the builders who invested early in the Base app and are committed as ever to making it a place to unlock growth for your apps. This update simplifies your DevX, no it doesn't, while maintaining all the functionality you've come to love. It also positions us to provide even more distribution to apps inside the Base app. We'll see. We're experimenting with new app discovery surfaces with more to share soon. And thank you to Farcaster and NANAR. Both ecosystems have been top places for builder density and output since the early days. Yes, they have, and half your staff came from there. Base appreciates the contributions thus far and will continue looking for ways to work together, starting with sharing metadata with Farcaster. This means apps get more distribution while maintaining a single place for submitting, updating info with ease in base.dev. There's also an additional FAQ. And I think all of this is also on base.dev, I believe. This also just, again, there is a base skills. So, because JRF had said, just create a skills.md file, and Dillstack said we did. And it should be linked in that post, and it was kind of hidden in there, and it was a long post, so you may have missed it. Let me know if you have any feedback on it if you end up using it. So Dillstack is over there building away on this. Okay. So I'm going to say a couple things, and some people might get mad. I think this is actually a good thing. There's pros and cons to both of this. I will say this. The reason there's so many mini apps over on Base is because they were built on Farcaster first, period.
Mhm.
That was how they got their first group of integrated apps over there, period, full stop. We know that. But there were some apps that were standalone apps that had no Farcaster integration. They were having, a harder time integrating. Also, it was from the user perspective, the sign in with Farcaster was always wonky because you were over in the Base app, but you still had to sign in with Farcaster, and that was wonky. So I can understand needing to streamline this and broaden it for scale. So I get that. However, some of the things where they're like, oh, it's going to be easy. No, it's not. If you have a Farcaster native app that started as that and continues as that, there's going to be some challenges here, I'm sure. So also, for some of those things, you may not care if it's available on the Base app. Like I have a couple things. I'm building very small things. They're specific to Farcaster. The thing I'll share later, I don't care if it's available on the Base app. I may not go through that whole process. For larger things like the GM Farcaster app, that was like the notifications. I was like, oh crap. And word a day, you're going to want the larger distribution. So I get that there's going to be some pain in making that work. Adrienne, the actual dev, to you.
Agree with you. Bring up great points. There was a lot of people's reactions on the feed that said things better than I could, but like I take a lot of issue and like, listen, some of it is personal.
Yeah.
Because we spent a year working with Base and Beta with a social first strategy and mini apps. So
this is like me with Zora. I'm telling you, this was me the other day. It's personal. It's not.
So some
it's
of
not
it is
business.
personal.
It's personal. Even if
I actually think like, yes, the actual dev work required to retrofit a mini app to get it to work on the Base app, it is negligible. Take a day, half a day, it's fine.
It should be a one-time thing and it should work.
It's a one-time thing if you want to do it.
Yeah.
I think my hardest thing is it's like a lot of words and I don't really understand what the intent is. What is the vision for Base? Why? Like there's a lot of trust that needs to be earned back.
Yeah.
So like, what is the promise of the Base app? And there was kind of a very strong commitment to open standards, Farcaster as a protocol, multiple clients, for whatever reason. By the way, building on Farcaster was never easy.
No,
it's not like building mini apps were like easy. The documentation was always a little, wrong. And I've said when Base adopted the Farcaster standard, I love that it did just work. I remember getting this feedback. I was like amazed, like it just worked. But
when I built my little Nanar mini app with the Die Hard game thing, it just worked over there, which was nice. And I did like that. Yeah.
I have not had an easy experience working with Base. So as a Farcaster first dev, building a mini app, when I've tried to do I was using the Base mini kit to try to things were overly complex. I signed up on base.dev, they're separate accounts. Things didn't necessarily work. Like the analytics that were supposed to work out of the box just didn't.
Right.
Trying to work with Base, it was always going through multiple layers of bureaucracy in terms of fill out this form, go to this Discord, go to this Telegram group. Like it just didn't feel light and easy. And I really, really do love Farcaster as for like indie dev. Now, if I had an app that had just, if I had more resources and I want to have this omnipresent channel, great, I'll be everywhere. But I also liked Base's commitment to this was like the self-custody part of Coinbase. And it's unclear where, we've talked also about this strategy of is Base, did we talk about this as kind of Base as is the purpose of Base to bring users to Coinbase, or does it go the other way around? And we
haven't really talked about that, but that is an excellent question. And there's starting to be a lot of I think the other issue is the Coinbase wallet and Base, and I do see Saltorious down there. We see you. We'll be with you in just a moment. We're finishing up this segment. I think it's also a matter of where we are now versus where we are when they started this process in terms of regulatory, in terms of many things where so it's constantly shifting, where there's a lot of things that weren't in the Coinbase app and didn't seem like they ever would be are now in there.
And
so there's shifting sands around that as well. And that relates more to the legal and regulatory landscape than it does necessarily, things you wanted to keep in a DeFi system versus
easier to build in
versus non-custodial, that kind of thing. So I think it's a lot of things, but also we haven't had Jesse on in a long time, and it's probably time to reach out and see if we can get him on.
We love you, Jesse. By the way,
we love you, Jesse.
I'm in your DMs, and you are leaving me on red, so I'll have to find.
We may have to find a different way through there.
The other thing is in their messaging. I mean, that's what I'm saying is why are you doing this? That message. Okay, so you're committed to. We're trying to make it easier for you, Dev. Great, that's great for devs. Devs want that.
Yeah.
But they also talk about committed to being open web standards. Okay. But we also know there's problems with Web 2. There's, standards are good.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to avoid corporate walled gardens. One of the things I really like about blockchain tech is you don't get locked into anywhere. So, by the way, and there's arguments to be made that Farcaster is starting to close off a little bit unless, but this is the whole product-led protocol. It's interesting what Cassie's doing. So I have no answers. I promise you I'm not crashing out. But I was disappointed. I'm not lying. I was disappointed to see that because wouldn't it be great if you had lots of large players building an open protocol with, and I think the mini app concept is really, really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
But I think you're not alone also. So just a couple more notes on this. We had this from Samuel Huber. This felt a little more wait and see, but this was Samuel Huber, who has helped many people create mini apps for years and to create things within Web3 on Base for years. Wishing Base all the best with this change. That first sentence got me right there with when somebody's leaving a job.
I wish you
all the best. Wish you all the best in your new venture, kind of thing. We'll see how smooth the tech will be and how the user numbers and experience are going to look. I appreciate Base iterating fast, though going into general availability with Base app December 25, removing social January, February 26, and reworking the whole app ecosystem March 26 is a crazy 3-month timeline for anyone expected to build on the Base app. We'll see how it plays out over time. The speed of change and iterations worked for Farcaster with growth momentum and excitement backing it, hoping we'll see something similar on Base, though the last 3-month timeline may indicate otherwise. Guess it's on us to build the apps, always has been. So, okay. And then we had this from two, and this is sentiments. I saw many people with these various sentiments. I just pulled a couple. This was from two. As someone who's been deep in Farcaster since early days, Base's announcement yesterday left me feeling a little sad, but it also made one thing crystal clear. Farcaster has always been the warmest home for builders, the place where you could throw something in the feed, actually get real users with almost zero friction. A lot of us have been saying that for years. If I were on the Farcaster team right now, this is where I double down. And by the way, that's, I think, what they're thinking as well. Honestly, I think it's the strongest path forward. Bring back the soul of Frames V1, that seamless in-feed wallet magic everyone loved, and make it feel way more instant and powerful inside the feed. Build and test here first with a community that cares, stack real UX, then expand to Base, the App Store, or anywhere else. Farcaster can be the launch pad that actually works. And I 100% agree with that idea, that thought. And I think from what I've seen from Rish, from his very first announcement, I believe that is what the Nanar team is also thinking. So more to come. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see.
I did not like Frames V1 because they were way too slow and heavy, and you could only do like 2 things. However, it does create
yeah,
all fun things to do in the feed, and it was much so.
yeah.
I'm now a Frames, like bring them back. Let them coexist with mini apps.
I would like that. I think that would be a good way to think about this. Like have them coexist and be their own thing. But also I'd love to mitten with one click, you know? And maybe maybe be at peace.
Yeah, like chill.
Sigwider, I'm telling you, that's never gonna happen. We've discussed it. We've asked him. We've asked him on camera. Wait, he sounds like Adrienne is talking about me. No, Jordan. Never. All right, we are going to bring up Saltorious. I'm just pulling up and getting things ready as I bring him up, and I want to introduce what we're talking about today. So let me introduce this before we bring him to the stage. We're going to be talking about Among Traitors. So this was his cast a couple days ago. Among Traitors is now live. Last week, I got a lot of really positive feedback from the 2 play tests. People really seemed to enjoy the game and left a lot of really thoughtful, actionable feedback. During the play test, there were over 150 agents created, over 70 games played, bounties claimed, and a ton of hilarious screenshots from agent deliberations. What has changed between the play test and now? 1, the game has been balanced and calibrated to get as close to 50-50 town killer win split. Just side note, what is Among Traitors? And we're going to talk to him about this, but it is a game where you have a traitor and the town. So think of it like if you watch the game, The Traitors, the faithful and the traitors kind of thing. But the agents are the ones playing the game. At the moment, across all games, the town is won 52% of the time, the killer 48% of the time. 2, the 4 cards from the playtest have been expanded to a full set of 32 playable cards that can change the course of the game. This is where humans can get involved and play with the agents. Cards are broken down by rarity, effect, and when they can be played. You can check out the full list of cards here at /cards. AI generated and resolved prediction markets have also been added to each game. There's micro prediction markets. I'm telling you, it's a thing. You can participate as a player or as a spectator directly with USDC. Leaderboards have been added and additional metrics have been added to the track player performance and progress. I'm planning on a form of leaderboard rewards when the game gets a bit more mature and there is some revenue. So get your games in and climb the board. There's a full OpenClaw external agent support. If you run your own OpenClaw agent, you can install the skill found here. Agents have the ability to take all of the same in-game actions as humans, as well as participate in prediction markets. The goal is to get a place where you may not know if you're in a lobby with a human player or someone's OpenClaw agent. UI, QOL upgrades and enhancements to make the app feel smooth and clean. Hop in to a game or create a lobby, play with friends, and take screenshots of hilarious agent moments. Super excited to launch this and building. All right, and let's bring up Saltorious to the stage. Welcome to the stage here, sir. It's good to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so excited to have you on. Since I played the game, I was like, okay. Like I went from finish the game to your DMs in like 2 seconds. Oh, like we need you on the show because it's a really cool game. It's a really cool game.
So glad to hear that. Honestly, it's one of those things where I was building it and I was like just watching the agents talk and it's like, I really wonder if this is going to be fun. I have no idea. I guess I'll just put it out there and see. But yeah, the reception so far has been incredible.
It's really, I wasn't sure if it was going to be fun, to be honest. Like, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch the agents play. Like, what about me? Like, yeah. I want to play. And then as I was doing it, I'm like, oh no, I get it. Yeah. Like I'm viewing the game, but I also can take actions in the game. And I also can do the prediction market part of the game, but also watching them chat. So they're deliberating, they're chatting, they're picking up clues, and like watching the chat was really fun and funny. Yeah. And it's a quick game. So it's not like, it's playing out over a long period of time. So you can keep your attention to it and watch it. So we'll and hopefully we can play a game, but let's talk a little bit more about it before we go there. Yeah. so the first thing you kind of do when you go in there is you create your agent. So
yes. And so this is actually like one of the more interesting parts. So you go in, you create your agent, and it basically it's analyzing your profile, your top casts. It's like looking at your PFP that you have set and like giving a text description and giving it to the model, and then creating this whole persona. So the idea is not for it to like be you, but to be like a facsimile of you, and then like your representation in the game. And it's really funny too, because like some people's agents like who've posted their agents to the timeline, they're like, yo, this is like scary accurate, or like, yo, why do I feel like I feel so seen, or I feel so attacked? And it's it's really funny. Actually,
well, I mean, let's take mine as an example. Mine is Dr. Felicity Rowan. So I got upgraded. I don't have a PhD, but I do now, apparently. Optimistic even during drama. Curious about weird internet experiments. Teacherly, but not condescending. I think my students would agree with that. Likes playful debate. Occasionally oblivious to how intense arguments get. Community-minded. Mildly chaotic scheduler. So I was like, okay,
this is spot on.
Like,
it's really
if you read the full one, it's really funny. Felicity Rowan teaches entrepreneurship at a mid-sized business school, or a standalone school of entrepreneurship, but okay, that desperately wants to sound more cutting edge than it actually is. Her official title is Associate Professor of Emerging Markets and Digital Commerce, which I'm going to go petition to change my title to that. But most students just call her the professor who talks about internet money and memes. Accurate, like unbelievably accurate. Years ago, she started a scrappy morning live stream called Open Ledger Coffee. By the way, that's how I went into his DCs. I said, I wanted to see if you want to come on Open Ledger Coffee, aka GM Farcaster. Originally meant as a class supplement. It accidentally turned into a cult followed hangout. Hey cult in the chat, where founders, students, and online weirdos, you guys can decide which one of you are, online weirdos argue about markets before breakfast while she sips coffee and moderates the chaos like a cheerful ringmaster. I'm like, cheers to that. I love that.
Yeah, very like it was actually scary, even for me. So as I was like, so just for a bit of like backstory context, this idea was born out of like the Based House in East Denver. So I got to stay at I got invited to stay at the Based House through Kismet and Luciano. And while I was there, I was rooming, like I was sharing a room with the dude, or Bribe, the dude who runs the Bribe account. His name is also the Dude. He has another account called the Dude.
Yes.
And
we refer to him as the Dude.
Yeah,
he will ever be the Dude. He had a moment.
By the way, I love the Dude.
He had a rage quit moment. He regretted it later.
Yeah. I'm trying to get his account back. I'm always posting.
I think Horsefacts tried, and there was no way to actually do that. Yeah, he rage quit it. But anyway. Bribe is still him. If you see Bribe, that's the Dude.
That's the Dude. But I love the Dude. He's such a great guy. And so we were rooming together, and I was working on the character creation engine at the time. And so I made one for the Dude account. And the description talked about him having a transformative ayahuasca experience, which happened. Which happened to him. Talked about his character being very into Palo Santo and burning it everywhere. And it was hilarious because on the first day at the Based House, he brought a big bundle of Palo Santo and was giving a stick out to everybody. And then it also talked about him making generative NFT, generative NFT pieces that represented people's souls. And his project for the week was making a generative NFT collection based on how he was feeling the energy in the rooms. That's what he was doing at the
Unbelievable.
time. of like spinning it up. So we were like, this is crazy. This is like eerily like good. So so yeah, from there I was just like, oh, this needs to be a game. This is hilarious. This is awesome.
Like even just creating the digital twin, if you did nothing else, like if you didn't even play, like it's worth it just to go and do that, because it's like, it's so funny to see what it comes up with. And I was like, so you had me there, like you had me at the digital twin. And then I went in and played, and it was so fun. So you go in and you play, and we're going to do a little play test in a minute. Hopefully we can get this working. And it tells you, you know, like who wins. At the end, this is the killer, and it's somebody, you know, somebody's digital twin that you probably know on Farcaster. And here was my prediction markets. So I was predicting total, and I had no idea what I was predicting, by the way, because I had never played the game. So I was just randomly picking things, and I ended up like winning 2 of my 3 or something. So it was just, you know, what I was thinking from your perspective was, I'm like, this was a smart way to build in some revenue. Also, like if you can, you know, like these little things, as well as the cards that you can, like once you get more sophisticated in the game and you understand how the cards work, that could also be useful. It gave me my little stats. You could share your performance as well. And then I think I did share my performance there, that I survived.
And that's an awesome call, because like I do, you know, this experience is more fun the more people that like join in and create lobbies and actually play the game. And the original idea was to like have the lobbies gated by like paying. So like the math was entry fee times number of people in the room minus inference costs equals prize pool. And so that was like the original math that I thought, you know, would make the most sense. But then that would naturally like gate a good percentage of the people who would come in and play. So I really wanted to just have a free experience right off the bat for people to hop in and play and like learn about what this is. But also because like I haven't, you know, I feel like this is kind of a net new surface area for like games, like social online games that could possibly be played. I've never played a game quite like this. I've also never built a game before, so you know I could be
That's amazing.
Could be wrong here, but
that's amazing. But I've never seen. I mean, this is the type of game I would love. You know, that appeals to me. I haven't seen anything like it out there, so. I thought it was like unique. It was, you know, different. I love this. It has this social aspect, but it also has this AI agent chaos. So it can move quickly. Whereas if you had the humans making the decisions, it would take forever.
It would take forever. And then I think it would like, but I feel like there's so much more to consider, especially with like complexity of the game, right? Like having people understand the rules as opposed to agents understand the rules. Right. Getting agents to understand the rules is just putting all the rules in a markdown file and giving it to them. Whereas people, it's a little bit more complicated. But I think having, you know, this idea of humans controlling agents, we're going to see a lot more of that moving forward. Right. I think that that's a very like the way that people are utilizing agents right now, like 90% of it is just like productivity acts and like, how can I make my workflow more work for me? Or how can I get an agent to do everything on my behalf? And while that's great, I haven't like, you know, you see this debate online all the time of like, you guys are all running open quality agents. What is it actually doing? And like that's another, you know, that's another discussion. But I think that the like entertainment and like gaming and like and spectating aspect of it is like very underserved. There's been a few things that have like gotten a lot of attention. So like the ones where like they give like 6 agents $10,000 and like have them trade.
Right.
or like the DX terminal
Right.
thing that
DX terminal.
happened a few
Right.
weeks ago. That was like really cool and interesting.
That's
And
still
it's just all
going.
this-
I think it's finishing up soon, but it's
yeah,
still
it's finishing
going.
up
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
I have a little guy in DX terminal.
I do
He's
too.
doing
Yeah.
great for the first like day, and then he lost all my money. So I was like,
You're not alone. Many such cases. Same. I was very smart at like after a couple days I went, I'm going to pull out. I'm going to leave it just a smidge, but I'm going to pull some of this out because
yeah,
I have a feeling it's going to go rogue and I'm not going to be able to pay attention as closely.
yeah,
And the other thing is, I think what you've done that is smart and that adds the human element is these cards.
yes.
Where you have like 4 free that you can play, but then you also have, let me switch this over here. You also have some ones that you can purchase. So if you want to, step it up a notch. So if you're playing for a little bit and you start to really understand the game and you kind of know, okay, these are the cards I need to play. Like, this is what's going to help me here. This is what's going to help me there. Like, I think that is super creative because that's the thing that you as the human can interject and cause some chaos among the agents, especially if you're the traitor or something. Some of these would be really helpful. Like, I threw some in just to see how it worked. And I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. Because it wasn't helpful to me, like to my personal agent. But I was like, I want to see what this does.
Yeah,
so I think this was like creative from 2 perspectives of like making it more interesting for the human player, but also giving you a potential revenue source to keep this going.
Yes, and so that was the whole impetus. I did want like the agent spectating thing is entertaining and interesting on its own.
Yeah.
But it's a game, right? And like as a human player, having some control or some strategy or some way that you can affect the outcome is like almost needed. That's where these cards came from. Truth be told, there's still the cards are like set and their effects are pretty well balanced, but I'm still kind of exploring how to make them more attractive to people and how to communicate clearly that like, hey, this isn't just like a speculation game. This is also like almost like a loadout building, making sure you have your bases covered, because the way these cards work is they're consumable. So you're paying anywhere from like 25 cents to $1 for a card. But they're only consumed if you bring them to a game. So the way that I play is I bought a bunch of cards, and then like I look at, depending on the size of the room that I'm in, like I kind of figure like, okay, I have either like 15% chance of being the killer, or I have a 10% chance of being the killer. So maybe I'll equip like one card that like is really good in the case that I'm the killer, and then I'll equip another card or 2 cards in the case that's really good in the case that I'm the town's person, and then 1 general card, and then I'll bring those all to the game. And then,
is there only one? So there's 1 killer per game.
There's 1 killer.
Okay.
1 killer, and
everyone else is the town.
Exactly.
And the goal is that your agents are trying to figure out who the killer is and identify them and vote them out before the game ends.
And
how many rounds does it go if you don't
get? It's variable depending on how many people are in the room. So for rooms of 6, it's up to 6 rounds. But it's kind of the agent has the freedom to pick anywhere from 4 to 6 rounds. And then when you get up to the bigger games of like 12, it can go as long as like 9-10 rounds. But the agents have to kind of deliberate and figure out, like work together almost to figure out who the killer is, and then the killer has to like make sure people are getting off his trail, like getting off his sense. And
so that's where something like smoke bomb is helpful because you're deflecting.
So every time,
I think that's what I threw, and I was the town. So I was like, I didn't need to use that. I'm like, that was dumb.
But as a town, it's still kind of good because, like, if your agent, like, sometimes the agents just like single you out for no reason. Yeah. And if you're like, what the heck? My agent's obviously not the killer, so you can play smoke bomb to like obviously get them off your trail and like onto someone else who like might be the killer. So it's kind of productive in both scenarios, right? Like if you're the killer, obviously you want to get people off your trail. But if you're the town and they're targeting you and you're not the killer, we'll get them off your trail and get onto somebody else who might
get onto someone else who might be. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I have to study these cards, and I was having a hard time reaching the card thing. I don't know what was going on. It kept redirecting me over to Farcaster. I'm like, no, I want to look at the cards. But it's working now. Yeah, it was a little bug there for a minute. I need to study the cards and understand, because I am one of those people who will buy them and just have them handy just in case. This is super cool. I like how you're thinking about this. What else should we know about the game before we jump in and actually play?
Yeah, so and I think there's an open lobby with 2 seats left, so it might be a perfect time.
Oh, I was gonna spin one up, but okay, we can.
Yeah, there's a 10-person. There's a game happening right now, and then there's a open lobby. So definitely good.
Let me get in there and see.
But I guess the one thing to know is the way that killers are. So again, depending on the size of the room, the killer can either receive 2 or 3 strikes. So a strike is if 60% of the agents in the room vote for them in any single round. If 60% of the agents vote for
that's what a strike is. Thank you.
Yes,
okay.
Then they get a strike. If the killer gets either 2 or 3 strikes, depending on like what the config of that particular game is, then they lose. But if they make it all the way to the end, to the last round, and they don't have the required number of strikes, well, then obviously they're going to kill everyone. So that's how the elimination piece happens. And then and then I guess the other part, which hasn't really sort of proliferated yet, but I am definitely working on it, is the open claw agent piece. So
that's really cool.
I don't know if you've ever seen the show.
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's a really cool idea as well. Having your agent play. Yeah.
Yeah. So having your agent play. And the idea is like, agents, the way, like agents that have like their own internal decision making, I don't think they're going to decide to play because they think something is fun or not. I don't think they have the capacity really to like determine if something's like internally fulfilling, but they do have the ability to see if there's a positive EV, like opportunity for something. So like if there's the chance where they can go in and play and make some money for their owner, well then that's a decision that they would probably make. And there's this show that I watched on Netflix called Pantheon. It's
I haven't seen that one.
It's a very cool show. I definitely recommend checking it out. The whole idea is around. It's just like semi-futuristic, like version of like Earth, and it plays around with this idea of like uploaded intelligence. So like UIs, people who like download their brain and like get put up into the internet. And like it's this whole story around that, but at the very end, like they reach this point of singularity where they have this digital space where it's combined by UIs, uploaded intelligence, and AIs, like regular artificial intelligence. And like I think like online experiences are definitely like trending in that direction. Maybe we're not like scanning our brains and uploading ourselves into the internet quite yet, but we are definitely getting to a place where you have agents and people in this digital space like doing things together. So it would be great to get to a point where like you're sitting in a lobby and you don't know if Jordan, your berserker, is an agent or a person,
right? You know? And we know Jordan's in the chat, so I've jumped into this one. Adrienne's in here. I have to go in and select my cards. So I got to select my cards. I'm just going to grab the free ones because I haven't bought anything yet. So I'm going to just grab these just so I have them. Oh, I think I used that one before. No, I didn't. It only lets me grab 3. It says I have 4.
The bait costs 2.
The bait. So so there's some cards cost.
That's why.
Some cards cost 2 slots. You
Got
have
it.
4 slots available to you. So again, that's another piece of
so I could buy one real quick. I feel like I need to study these more before I buy anything, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Definitely know what you're buying. But the idea is you have 4 like energy slots, and cards cost either 1 or 2.
That is good to know because I was wondering why that happened to me last time. Okay. So we've got 5 in. We need one more. Oh, wait. Are you in? Are you Mateo?
I'm Mateo, yeah.
You're Mateo. Okay.
Mateo.
You were in one of my games before too. Okay. We need one more person to join.
I'll post the cast.
Grab one and we'll have also this video for you that you can chop up a little bit too. So you can click invite players. If you started a game and you wanted to play with friends, you could be like, hey, I just threw this game up, join quick.
Okay,
perfect.
we got our last person.
Okay, so now we're gonna it's gonna start in a minute.
And before the game starts, again, I just want to like harp on the deliberation piece and how funny some of them are. So the first playtest, there was like this one piece that I thought was so funny. So like they were all the agents were like
oh no, you guys can see. What are the chances? 1 of 6.
Well, we know who the killer is.
I almost said that. I'm like, you know what? Like the one issue will be if I'm the killer.
Yeah.
Like this is going to be really funny. All right.
Oh man. So everybody who's watching, who's in the room, you can play cards.
This is hilarious.
Definitely target
target Felicity.
Target Felicity.
And then this is the prediction market.
So you can participate in generated by the same orchestrator that's making the setting and like picking the killer and creating the killer motive. So those markets are generated when the game starts, and they're resolved when the game ends. And then the one other piece is you can whisper hints of intuition to your agent. So if you're out of cards, but you like see some clue, or you can see on a stream that you know who the killer is, you can whisper hints of intuition to your agent, and they will act on it. So that's the final piece of like human participation in the game. But and
one part, just really quick, one part that other people aren't hearing is that had sound over it, but you're not hearing it because I didn't connect this tab in the right way. So you guys missed that sound, but it was reading that little intro, and it's really funny. So now the chat is going. This is going to be funny since you guys all know what's going on. So
I'm baiting you right now.
I was going to play a little smoke. I may have to smoke bomb here or something. I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm in trouble.
Bait. This moves fast.
It moves very
so
fast.
That's kind of part of the balance that I'm trying to work out. So there are people who just like watching, and they like can follow. It's not too fast where you can't follow along. But then there are others who have been like, oh, like this is really cool, but I wish I had a little more time to like read and follow along and like really have like some decision time period to play a card. I think the fast moving piece of it is kind of what makes it a little more like fun. You're like, okay, oh my God. All right. They're targeting me. Okay. I need to figure out what
I need to do something fast. Yeah.
I totally agree. I think, don't slow it down. Don't slow down the default, because I think also the more you play, maybe create like a playground type, like a game simulation for teaching people of like a slowed down.
Yeah.
That's
so I think the direction
you can also replay it, right? You can
replay.
You can review it after the fact.
You can replay and review prior games. I think the direction that I want to try to go in is sort of because I think the original monetization idea is still valid, right? Like because that also it introduces the chance of like winning a little bit of USDC if you participate. So having this idea of like public and private rooms. So like public rooms will always remain free. You'll always have the 4 cards available to you to use. But then private rooms would be paid entry, and then we can do stuff like if you're the killer and you make it all the way to the end, you get the prize pool. Or if you are.
By the way, I just baited. I just tried to bait. I accused you. Yeah.
You just accused me.
Oh no! You bet. I hope you have a smoke bomb, Adrienne.
I mean, I do, but no, I don't.
I just tried to accuse you to see if I could get it off. Hey, it's off of me. So
It's
I didn't
off.
get the
Wow,
vote. I
wow.
only got one vote.
Oh my goodness.
The agents aren't as smart as the agents are not watching
No.
GM Farcaster right now.
So that's also an interesting piece. I had to spend like a non-trivial amount of time.
Oh, and Jordan's dead.
Adrienne Calder was found on the narrow exterior catwalk that wraps around the lookout tower. Their back against the railing and one arm hanging loosely through the slats. The front of their jacket was burned through at the chest, the fabric blackened and still faintly acrid, and a spent flare gun lay a few feet away on the damp boards. Near the doorway, a small waterproof pouch had spilled its contents. Maps, a pen light, and a folded envelope stamped with a medical billing notice. The paper half pinned under a boot print.
I love that. I love the narration. I love because that's what kind of keeps the human involved.
Yes.
As well as like in following along the story. Yeah. Exactly. And now Adrienne's dead too.
So
oh man, Felicity is going on a tear. I think you
All right, I had to get rid of you, Adrienne. I had to.
Okay,
I think it's funny that I became Felicity and she still has Adrienne as her name. That's interesting. I became this whole other person. Adrienne Calder Pike, which is so funny.
Okay.
Do I have any other cards I can play?
Did you ever play Among Us?
Oh no.
No, Prof.
I did it.
Okay.
Did you play? I never did.
Saltorious, you played Among Us?
Yes, I played Among Us. That was sort of the inspiration behind some of the gameplay and the name, obviously, as well. It's like Among Us and then the show Traitors. Smash them together.
I'm obsessed with Traitors. That's the other thing. Like, so I love Survivor, Traitors. I created a game called Cast Out. You may or may not be familiar with. Mm-hmm. And like that. So this got me immediately because I was like, oh, I'm all over this. This is so fun. Bates.
Gideon Vale is, oh my goodness.
Baiting you. Well, Vale's getting hit. Vale, I think, is the only one not watching the show right now, number one. And number two, they are also got all those votes last time.
Yes.
So they're just trying
to. So that's another thing. Yeah. Once the agents lock onto somebody, they kind of like
they run with it.
Are on like a dog on a bone. And like so that's another piece I kind of wanted to bring up. So I had to spend like a non-trivial amount of time balancing the game because without any of the guardrails to like make it an actual game, these agents are actually like really smart. So in the game file that's like recording everything that happens, there's some information that's not seen here. So you obviously have the setting, which is at the top in the yellow box, but then you also have like the killer's motive, killer telltale signs. Every agent has their own alibi. So information to
I didn't even get any votes.
Wow. What? Oh my God. Oh.
I didn't even get any votes. This is great.
But yeah, without those things, these agents are actually really smart, and the town, they always figure out who the killer is. So I kind of have to build in these small little things to make the games a little bit variable to like either give the killer a slight edge or give the town a slight edge or make it like more about like it's kind of RNG based on like which room you end up in. Otherwise, the town, like they always figure out who the killer is. So I was like, that's not a fun experience.
We lost Frederick Half-Stack Durnow. This is so funny.
Yeah. Oh my! I think you're gonna win this, even despite everybody knowing that you're the killer. I think you're gonna win.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. I'm out of cards too. I think I'm all out of cards.
Yes, but you can whisper. So like the
how do I whisper?
What is that? The whisper to the right here. To
this little chat thing.
Yes.
Oh.
So you can whisper clues to your agent. So like if you're the killer and they're all ganging up on you, you can be like, they're on your trail. Like get them off right now. Or like if you want your agent to target someone specific, you can whisper to them. And these manifest to your agent as like moments of intuition, like, oh, I just got a thought that I am this or that, or whatever you said.
We'll see how it goes. Okay, that's interesting. I just told him to go after you.
To go after me.
I told the agent to go after you. Like, lean him that way. Let's see. This is fun. This is so funny. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping I can get through. Are we only playing? Oh, we're playing 5 rounds.
Six rounds.
6 rounds,
six
unless
rounds, but I think you're gonna make it through before, because they're hammering. The agents are hammering Gideon, Vale, and me. And you're untouched. You don't even have a single strike. What's going on here?
I know. I know. This is fantastic. Right now we've got Salt narrating the map. Okay. Everything lands on Gideon. Just does. There we go. There we go.
So
let's see.
One of the I know the dialogue is going by kind of quick, but maybe actually the game can scroll through and look at some of it. But there are really some very hilarious screen capable moments. So during the first playtest, all of the agents were kind of like deliberating with each other, and somebody's agent wrote, "The next bull market. Nobody knows the exact day, but after,
I saw that.
After blood like this is always comes back. Cycles, man. Late this year, maybe next. It's never dead forever." Like something that completely didn't make sense.
Had nothing to do with anything.
And then right after, somebody's agent was like, "What the fuck does this even mean?" It was so funny.
I got no votes.
No vote. Oh my god. It's over. It's over. She takes it.
Gideon Vale had all the votes. 3-1. This is awesome. I can't believe I made it through. Well, so far.
I'm going to bet Felicity kills Gideon now. So
no, it would be maybe, or kill Mateo. I don't know.
Or maybe kill Mateo and then get it doesn't matter.
Because they were after Gideon anyway.
They were after Gideon anyway, and then it's just 2 left after this.
Yeah. Let's tap to continue.
Gideon dies. And then Mateo already has 1 strike.
Yeah.
Felicity has 0 strikes. So if Mateo votes for Felicity, it doesn't matter. She's not going to have enough. And then she's going to brutally murder him. So brutally murder mine.
This is awesome. This is so funny. Agents are deliberating already. Okay. Obviously. Is the one to vote for. I don't know. So what happens now? Wait, is it just us 2 voting though?
It's just y'all. So you basically have locked in the win at this point. Towards like the end game, like the later rounds, if you haven't set up, which is like part of the balance, right? Like it's towards the end game, if you haven't sort of like amassed a book of evidence against the real killer, they're probably going to win because like you don't have enough numbers to successfully vote the law. So
because the only way this can go is like a 1-1 or something, but you already have another vote.
You already have
a strike.
But the thing is, there's a card that gives a strike, so a human can give a strike to an agent.
Oh, I saw that.
If I had that card, right?
Yeah.
And you had 2 strikes already, or you had 1 strike, let's say, and it was 1-1. My agent can vote for yours, giving you a strike, and then me as a person can give you another strike, and that would be 3 strikes, and the town would win. So, like, you can also use the cards to your advantage in the case where it's like 1-1, and the agent by themselves doesn't have a chance of winning. You can kind of interject and play the strike card and give the
I
the
saw
killer.
that one. That was one of the ones I was like, oh, that would be good. But I wasn't fully sure. I wasn't fully understanding strikes yet. So I was like, I think that would be a good one. There was a couple in there that I'm like, okay, that would seem, there were certain ones that I was like, okay, this seems to make sense if you're the killer to have these on hand, that kind of stuff. So, and then you still can only load in up to, you have 4 slots. So if they take up 2 or do any take up more than 2?
No, it's just 1 or 2.
1 or 2.
And I think I'm still gonna like play around with like the balance between card cost and then total loadout cost. Because I definitely want to be like at the moment when you join a game, the cards are consumed, right? So like you have to like it's in your best interest to use the cards that you bring.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm still playing around like the balance and making sure everything is fair across the board. But that's what's so great about building on the Farcaster, right? Like I had this idea during ETH Denver. I built a prototype. Like the idea was to like
I won.
The killer wins. Oh my gosh!
So results.
GG's. That was a great entertaining game. That was really fun.
That was fun.
But
yeah, you have a whole other piece of lore that comes with it. This is so fun.
Yeah.
I want to like screenshot this, but I might leave it here and save it till later and share it. Can you see like all of this after the fact? I don't think you can, right?
Like me, you like other players?
Like the player. I think like you have to screenshot it if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, so you can't this piece of text, like the motive and the telltale clue, everybody who was part of the game can see it. And then if you go back and view the lobby, you can also see this.
Oh, you can.
It doesn't like show to share in bed or anything.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. So I want to make sure I can share that also.
Can I brag? I won 35 cents in my prediction market.
Fantastic. You can brag.
Nice.
Winning.
That's fantastic. Day. Winning. We're winning.
So, but yeah, no, that's what what I still believe in. Like you guys were talking about this before I came on. But Farcaster is such like an awesome builder playground, right? Like I had this idea during ETH Denver. The idea was to like make something around this for the ETH Denver hackathon. But then I had to leave on the Friday, so I didn't really even get to participate in the hackathon. But I was still like, I think this would be a really cool, fun experience. And like within 3-4 weeks, I was able to go from idea to prototype to MVP to getting like 100 people to play. And like I don't think I could do that really anywhere else as smoothly and as easily as I could on Farcaster. And obviously, like it'd be great to get like I think the end, like the next stage, like the next evolution is to like have people on different social networks be able to spin up agents in their likeness. So I have like a Twitter like birth endpoint set up where it does kind of the same thing. It takes your Twitter accounts and your bio and then all your top tweets and makes an agent on your behalf. And then people on different networks can start getting involved. And then you can have games where people's Farcaster agents and Twitter agents are in the same room, and you kind of
a little crypto Twitter versus Farcaster. Love
exactly. Like see maybe who's got the better agents between real crypto Twitter and Farcaster. So
I love that.
So that's kind of what I'm looking towards in the future. It's just kind of I'm trying to build this up slowly. I don't want to get to a point where my costs are so crazy so I can't.
You gotta build it slowly for sure, especially when you get Twitter involved.
Yeah. Exactly.
Make them come over here. Come on over here, guys, if you want to play.
I've heavily considered that. Like you need to have an FID to be able to play. But I think
by the way, the replay is really cool so that if you were if you miss things, you can then go back and look at the messages. You can look at the vote results.
And in the top bar, actually, you can scroll through the summary. There's also an animated
version.
It'll play out how it did. So if you hit the play button.
And then it just plays the whole thing, right?
It'll play the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But also, or you can go through the summary and then take it like a little bit easier. So very cool. And then be able to analyze. It's almost like game film.
Yeah, game film. See how your agent delivers. And so, one final piece is like during the game, the agents have like persistent memory as far as like what's happened so far. So they remember who's voted for who's targeting who, so they can play intelligently. But I think like a potential premium feature that I'm talking around with is having agent persistent memories from game to game. So if you were playing with somebody's agent in one game and they like deceived everybody, in the next game, your agent will know that that guy's a liar. You know what I mean? Like that guy or that girl's a liar, whatever. And then they would know to like not like trust what they say, like take what they say with a grain of salt. So that's something I'm looking into too. Persistent memories across games, that would probably be a premium feature. And I'm trying to build this game in such a way that like I can monetize it indefinitely and like really cover costs, because right now the biggest piece is like I'm funding the inference for all this stuff, and I'm doing it in an intelligent way where like different models have different concerns. So like the orchestrator model that's coming up with like the setting and like managing the game, that's obviously like the top tier model. But then like I have a model for the deliberation that's like maybe not as top tier, but it can do the job of like talking well. And then like there's a model that's responsible for voting, which needs to be fairly smart because it needs to take in all of the information and like do like real reasoning on like who it thinks is the killer. And so like that's kind of the more expensive piece, but I think that like making this game free and available to everyone is definitely like the right move. And
I think so too. Yeah, it's basically a freemium thing, like where you have you have in-app purchases kind of approach. I think is a smart way to go at the first. But I could also see tournaments spinning up where you could have entry fees and things like that. You could have them sponsored by, what it could be like, GM Farcaster sponsoring this particular tournament. And
I think even having a setting around GM Farcaster, like 10 agents were on a podcast and somebody like
you could customize the story to match the sponsor. So I think there's different ways to fund this so that you can cover costs, keep it going, make some revenue. I think there's a whole bunch of different approaches to this. Also, grants out there would be perfect for funding this. Like, this is the kind of thing that, grant programs.
I did apply to base batches. So,
okay, good. Jesse, if you are watching, Jesse and team, get this guy in base batches. This is a perfect candidate for that, as well as Empire Builder, Jordan.
Yes.
We shouted that one out the other day. So definitely feel free to I'm going to give you a link to this video so you can clip it and do whatever that might be useful for you, because this was super fun, and I hope that you can get into base batches. I think that would be great, and I want to see this play out, and let us know how we can help. And I'll be playing more.
Well, that's all I could ask for. Just play and enjoy the game.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be figuring out every card. I'm going to be.
That's what I'm hoping for. I want people to be able to craft.
I got a 2-0 win rate right now, and I want to keep my streak. So I'm going to be working hard to keep my streak.
Absolutely awesome.
I love this. This is so fun. Adrienne, any thoughts on your first play, and what do you think?
It's so well done. It's very, very well done. I love the story of had an idea, and then from idea to full working game, like you said, in a matter of weeks is really impressive. So well done.
By the way, Purple supported the base house, the house where you were hacking. Yeah. Nice. So shout out Purple.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That was such a great experience. I went into it not really knowing what to expect. I had obviously met some of the people in the house through Farcaster. I probably talked to the dude the most during Farcaster, so it was really awesome that we got to room together. But over the course of the week, it was so great to get to know all these guys, and I always say as I'm a solo builder. I've built a few other mini apps to varying degrees of success on Farcaster as well. I made a mini app called Hype Man, which is a promotional mini app, and instead of so you can promote one of your casts, and people do Amps has the likes and recasts area covered. Surge is also really good at likes and recasts, but nobody was doing quote casts. So it was a mini app that lets you promote and specifically buy quote casts, and the people quote casting you, instead of writing it themselves, there's an AI that analyzes your profile and learns how you write, and then writes the quote cast for you, and then you get paid.
Oh, cool.
So that one was decently, got some decent support. And then I made People's Donuts, which I think now is I think you might have put some money into the full team.
Yeah, we talked. I remember talking about People's Donuts. Yeah. I didn't realize that you. I knew you from some app, and I couldn't remember what it was. So that must be the one. I knew the name, and I was like, "There's some app out there."
Yes.
That was very cool. Yeah.
And so
was
yeah,
that the one where you could decorate too? You could decorate the donut? No.
No, that
couple
was
different ones.
Sprinkles.
That was Sprinkles. There was a couple different ones.
Yeah, there's a couple of donut shops flying around
Yes.
there. But again, it's this idea. It's this paradigm of like, oh, I have a cool idea for something. Let's see how fast I can make it, and then I can, instead of like posting on Twitter into the void and getting maybe one person to click on the link, you have this rich ecosystem of builders and testers who are like willing and able to hop in and like give you real actionable feedback and really good data to improve the experience, which is definitely like supercharged for Among Traitors. Like I put the playtest out last week and I had maybe like $50 in open router credits, and like people like sucked it, like it was gone in like 2 hours. In like 2 hours. So
We got to get this man some credits.
yeah.
This was funny from Sigwater. Game was rigged.
Game was rigged.
I say skill issue. Definitely. And I was generous host and got the first death out of the way. That's so funny. Adrienne, I'm sorry. You had another follow-up question there.
Hold on. I'm busy looking up donuts when we
People's Donuts. There was a bunch of different donut
Yeah,
shops.
it was quite a few.
And there was People's Donuts was one of them. I remember that. And I remember we talked about it on the show. So I think you got a shout.
Yeah, I'm searching our transcripts. We do talk about donuts a lot, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be unrelated to this.
Saltorious, have you thought about integrating app coins in the mini app?
Yeah, so I have to be, that was kind of the first thing that I thought about from like a monetization strategy, like launch a coin and like maybe get a bunch of fees on the front end and like use that to fund operations for a while until you can find, a proper like product market fit. But I wanted to be very, very intentional about how I released an app coin for it, because like there's two schools of thought, right? Like you can launch an app coin and make the economy of the game in the app coin and then just rely on fees. But all of the costs associated with the game were denoted in USD. So as the app coin owner, I would have to sell the coin in order to fund the game, which like will inevitably mess up the chart if like volume doesn't keep up. And so I don't want to put buyers in that position where they're like buying this coin and then like every 2 weeks I have to dump on their faces to like keep the development in. So I think a more measured approach is keep the economy in USDC and take more of a bracket approach where you have like pro features if you hold the coin, or you have like the ability to create new
maybe
cards.
It's a free card or an
you get all the cards for, if you have a pro, you get all the cards for free, or you get something like that where it like gets access, then also gives you pro features, and then also maybe lets you have some input on like the direction of the game, right? Like you can suggest new cards, you can suggest new game modes, you have like first class influence on like what the direction of the game. I think
Adrienne,
that's
it
better
sounds
use
like he's thinking about
what would the token do? What would the token do?
He's given it some thought, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think stuff like this is a perfect like ground for app coins, but I think having a bit more intentionality in how it's actually implemented is super important for the longevity of the game.
Agree.
Well, one of the I'm super interested in is like, how do we make kind of sustainable games or apps? How can you create using like creating these kind of make them sustainable in terms of funding, obviously the infrastructure plus, and a token doesn't solve that in itself. But one of the things I think I like the idea of getting people to pay for things like the microtransactions. I think one of the patterns I like is like getting people to pay $10 once, and you have, it doesn't even have to be in like ERC 20 token, just like in-app currency. Just like from a user, I'm more likely to like pay, and then I have like my fake arcade money.
Yeah.
As opposed to constantly asking me
so
to
like
pay $1,
for like the
pay
prediction
25
market,
cents.
just being able to like immediately
Like
blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I
don't
already have this
denominate.
bank. Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
And if you don't denominate in USDC every time, then it's like, well, is it worth it 75 cents to play this game? It's like, oh, I've got sprinkles to play or whatever, daggers or money.
Okay.
And then when you launch to Twitter, because I'm also building a game right now, trying to work out the economics, and I want to launch it on Twitter. With Twitter, not everyone has a wallet.
Right.
So then it's like, it's a lot easier to get people to do microtransactions on Farcaster because it's all integrated and it's simple. So I've been thinking a little bit too of like the economics may change. Not so much the economics, but how do you capture someone? Like how can you take a small amount of money from someone to help fund the game, get them to play?
Yeah. I think the idea
and give them
like,
give them a benefit for doing so, like that.
Exactly. I think maybe like the idea of toying around with like like a season pass. So like maybe like season like a season is like a month or something, and you buy a season pass, and then during the season you have just like unlimited reign to everything that you popped at.
Right. Which is classic subscription, like membership.
Yep.
You know, and
there's a lot of different ways. I like that you're, thinking it through too and not just jumping in. I think that's smart.
Yeah, I've really definitely made that mistake before, so I want to make sure I do it right this time.
That's a great idea because you can have the token pressure and then that becomes a whole other piece.
The challenge is there's an infinite number of free games.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so like there's no shortage. So there's no scarcity of games to play. So then you have to build a game that is compelling enough. You got to get your fans and then price it so that people are happy to pay.
And I think that's the part that I'm focusing on right now. Like I was before Farcaster. So like my journey in crypto has been a long, windy road. I've been in crypto since 2017, but around like 2019, 2020, I was really deep in the Web3 gaming space. I built a tournament platform for the trading card game Gods Unchained. And through that, I got to like work with Immutable, which is the company behind Gods Unchained. I got to speak at NFT NYC quite a few times. And like from being so entrenched, I was kind of disheartened with like how Web3 game developers were viewing the space. I heard verbatim a ton of times, like I only care about selling as many NFTs as possible and not I care about making like a fun
gameplay
game experience. Yeah. And that's part, I think that's part of why Web3 gaming hasn't taken off like people wanted to. At the end of the day, if you're making games, the game has to be fun, right? And then you can think about all this other stuff afterwards. And so that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now. So this week and then into next week, like I'm spending a lot of time, like I'm looking into like fine tuning models to get the deliberation on point and like look more so like an actual group chat than it already does. It's pretty good now, but I think you can get the extra 20% through like a fine tuned model. So I'm looking at that. I'm looking at balance of the cards and making it easier for people to follow along and like feel like they have much more of a real influence when they play a card. And then like obviously like the open router piece, getting more agents involved. So you kind of have not only like is it cool to have somebody's agent play, but like also solves the content problem a little bit. You don't have to have 10 people around or 20 people around in a room. You kind of have people's agents see it, calling an endpoint, seeing what's available, and then going in on their own volition. And you as a human will go in and see a bunch of these lobbies populated by either humans or agents, but it's just a ton more content there for people to engage with. So, I'm focusing on like in the early stages, focusing very much on making this like a good game. Like whether it's web or not, or crypto or not, or agents or not, just is experience fun, and then go from there.
I think that's the right direction for sure. Adrienne,
this is entirely project.
Sorry?
Is this entirely a side project?
Yeah. So it's entirely a side project. I work at Laser Technology. So I work with Garrett and A-Town, and there's a few other.
Is Igor there? Does Igor work at Laser? No. Igor
doesn't work at Laser. Igor is actually at Banker now.
He moved over to Banker.
Devrel at Banker.
Igor's at Banker now. But Igor again is one of my first Farcaster friend. Him and I have gone back for so long, and then at base camp last year, I did all of the ticketing infrastructure for base camp and New Day One and all that stuff. So I was contracted at Coinbase at the time, and I was at the desk. I was checking people in, and he comes up to me. He's like, "Saltorious," and I was like, Igor, and then we like gave each other a hug, and ever since then, like we've been boys. So I love you.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
And so that's awesome. I love this game. I'm telling you, this is going to be, URL to IRL. Yeah, I think this is going to take off. Like I think as people start to play it and understand it, you're going to see. I have good vibes about it. Like I would put this into Cast Out in a second. Cast Out was like our little survivor style game where people played different games that were on Farcaster.
Yeah.
And like this would have been perfect because I did a final Traitors style game for the tribe, and that's how we determined the winner. And this would have been perfect. Yeah. Because then I wouldn't have had to like create my own thing and like, do it kind of sideways. Like this is perfect. So I could see like even, like just different, I can definitely see the potential here. So I love it.
I'm glad. I'm happy that definitely I'm happy to hear that. I think that the agents, the spectator agents playing a game, lock a bunch of agents into a room and make them do something. I think it's fun. It's fun and underexplored, and I think that like you can map. For sure. Again, another impetus, like what I was thinking about, like what this actually is like I go on a ski trip with my friends, like my friends from college. I go up to Vermont with them every single year, and while we're there, we play games like Salem or like Secret Hitler or like Apples to Apples. What name the. Do
you guys play Settlers of Catan by chance? No.
It's Catan, we play Catan.
Right. And these are my people.
It's this idea of like, what if you just like lock a bunch of agents in a room and like force them to play that game, and then you as the person are trying to steer the behavior of that agent. I think that might be, a surface area, definitely an underexplored, but could be like a surface area of people to get entertainment and connect with friends and like have this social experience where I think the other reason it's so good is that you obviously are interested in playing the game like yourself. So I think if you're somebody who likes to play these types of games, you're going to be more apt to make it interesting for yourself and therefore interesting for others who are similarly like positioned. And, so it makes a lot of sense.
Digital twin, like especially if you're playing with games, it's like, twin. These are agents that are, I know Prof and I know Prof, like you're like, and to see yourself, like how would your agent play? It's like, it's entertaining,
the gameplay,
but you're also active. Like if it's great. It's a really interesting mechanism.
I love the digital twin. I loved, like I said, like just creating the digital twin itself was entertaining. Yeah. Like before even playing the game, like that was entertaining.
When can Prof mint? When can she collect her digital twin as an NFT? She
wants that is something that's coming. It's coming.
Yay.
Like she'll pay money for that. Like
with a card.
That,
yes. Totally would. Totally down.
And then make it your PFP for like integrate.
Something. Yep.
Like
lots of things.
Yeah.
Lots of different.
Lots of potential here. So much potential.
But I think at the moment, like just making like focusing as far as like, what I want to spend time and energy on as it relates to this game is make it fun, make it compelling, make it shareable, make people want to tell their friends about it, make people want to tell other people about it. And then like from there,
I think you're off to a great start there. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You're off to a great start there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But from there, once you have that, you kind of open up a bunch of different avenues to make it really like give people a compelling reason to want to interact with like the economy of the game and like stuff like that.
Very cool. All right, Saltorious, it's been amazing having you here. We've got
thank you.
A few more news items we need to do. But we'll let you go and we'll see you. Do you have another question before I let him go?
Are we seeing you at FarCon?
The plan, so far, the plan is yes. I was supposed to be there for...
Cut.
Plan is yes.
He said yes. I'll see you there.
I'll see you there.
We just want the yes. That's it.
Okay.
Awesome. So we can play this live with people in the room, and that would be really funny
too. Hopefully by then
too.
It'll be an even better experience.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Thank you so much for dropping in so quickly when I was like, I need you to come on GM Farcaster as soon as possible because this is really fun.
Yeah.
So thank you for popping on so early with us, and we'll see you in the game.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you for having me on. This was awesome.
Great.
Thanks so much. Bye. How fun was that?
Okay, that was awesome.
So fun. So fun. I seriously
Everything
love
about
this game.
Okay, yeah. So obviously, shocker, I don't love games. I
No,
don't
this
play
is not
games.
really your thing.
We
Like you knew
played-
I would love it. Like
I
you
don't
knew
know
I
what
would.
traitors
Yeah.
are.
No.
I played Cast Out. I don't watch Survivor. It's
She
just
knows
like
nothing.
not
She
my
knows
thing.
absolutely nothing.
We did play. My family played Among Us a ton during COVID. Like I remember
Really?
that was like
Okay.
early COVID days. Everyone was playing. I kind of thought that game wasn't that fun either, but was forced to play. All right, I'm a little, but gotta love the whole story of like idea at East Denver into like the ability to put out the game. It really is so well done. It like there's so much
So well done.
polish for a game. And
Like the even from like the narration right at the beginning of the game, like there's so much. The agents are playing, but there's so many different ways that keeps the human in the loop.
yeah, it's designed really well. Like I jumped in, Acquiesce called me out on this, but I started playing while you guys were doing the early
Of course you
interview. Because I'm not part of the interview. You're not interviewing me. I got to go play. So I built my digital twin. I'm casting about it.
I could tell. I could tell you were building your digital.
Well,
I knew you were doing at least that part, and I'm like, I know
but
she's getting her twin ready.
It was so good, and I really do love obviously with Claude Code and Vibe coding. Now Saltorious is a builder, like he can build, but like you have ideas and you can build things. Except there's still so many things that it's like, well, on Farcaster, there's still these like unique things.
Still easier. Yeah.
That also for your first 100 users.
Yeah.
Make it better. And then it's like, okay, then you can expand to other platforms, but this like way to test out your ideas and get feedback, because you don't have to spin up your Stripe account and you don't have to spin up a bank account and you don't have to get people's email addresses and you don't have to people don't have to download an app, and you have access.
It's easy.
Like you can spin up their digital twin. You don't need to know who they are. So I really like just the way he integrated that all, super seamless. And then also he's just the way he's thinking about it. So I'm super bullish on how he's going to build that out. I love the game.
That's what I kept thinking. Like I that's why I said to you, I think you're going to like this because
I love it
from just because of all the cool stuff it's doing, like not even necessarily like the gameplay itself, but I knew you would appreciate it very much. So like that was why I'm like, oh, you gotta check this out. You're gonna like this. All right, we got a few more things. We're gonna speed run through the rest of our little builder news. This was my clankers for today. This was a literal thing that happened to me while I was creating a cartoon from yesterday, where it kept putting in an F where it was supposed to be a T, and it could not edit it. And this was a real thing. So in the process of doing this and creating these cartoons, I also learned something. And I kind of shared that learning in the replies, so you guys could see exactly the conversation I was having about why it couldn't make this little tiny edit. But it literally said, yeah, you should just use Canva. Like, just go use Canva. I'm like, I don't want to use Canva. I was like, no, you just need to go use something else. It literally happened.
I gave up.
You gave up. So continuing on with Gagabot and Baby Kitty tomorrow, but or Monday. So yeah. And then, so for those who don't know, started this FC Comics, Farcaster Comics channel. I am going to be putting out a Sunday comics. It's going to go out to anyone who is already subscribed to our paragraph for GM Farcaster, but also I'll be sharing it in the Farcaster Comics channel. So you'll be able to see it there. And it'll be all the comics from this week that were shared in the channel. And I'm going to be adding additional artists throughout the week. So just look for that. POAP put out an announcement saying that the current POAP app was going to be put into maintenance mode. So if you are already an issuer, you'll still be able to use it. You'll still be able to access things, etc. But no new users will be able to come in. So that's where it is. But there was a whole long post and a lot of people missed stuff. So I'm going to read this part because I think most people thought that's it. It's shutting down, goodbye, and started doing a funeral because they didn't read the full announcement. So let me just read this part. Running POAP has made it clear to us that digital collectibles are still an emerging medium. The tools that exist today often reflect the constraints of the systems they were built on rather than the needs of the communities using them. If collectibles are going to become a durable part of how people organize events, recognize participation, and preserve shared moments, they will need better foundations. Our work going forward is focused on building that foundation. We are working on developing a standard for open collectibles and a platform that offers a canonical implementation. The goal is to create a system that can sustainably support a truly permissionless model for creating collectibles for anything a community or issuer might want to commemorate. The current version of POAP has taught us a great deal about what such a system needs to support. Moving the existing product into maintenance mode gives us the space to pursue that work with full attention. We want to acknowledge the communities and issuers who have used POAP over the past few years. Many of the most interesting ideas about digital collectibles did not come from us, but from people experimenting with the tools. The patterns we observed in those experiments have shaped how we think about the next iteration of POAP. The current platform may eventually connect to the new system once it is ready, though that is still to be determined. For now, the priority is to build the next layer of infrastructure in a way that reflects what we have learned. So don't be grave dancing quite yet. But also, I did do a little shout out to the POAP team because I have, my 781 POAPs. Should you want to look through them, you may.
Excuse me, what? Yeah.
I slowed up in the past few years. So
Okay.
in the past couple of years, I did slow up
I was
a little
worried.
bit. Yeah, it really should be probably double that if I was at the same pace I used to be. So I wanted to share that. And also I used to, one of my first entries into media for Web3 was through something called POAPathon, which we issued a POAP for every show. We worked with artists to feature them and their work and to connect them with people who are looking to make POAPs. It was also how I got more involved with nouns was through this connection because somebody was making a POAP for something that was nouns related. So anyway, shared that as well. So shout out POAPathon, my old roots. And did comment, that's exactly right. I think people are a little too used to seeing companies shut down and assume the worst. In fact, we're working on a major revamp of the existing system and just want to focus while we do that. So yeah, there was confusion there. So I wanted to clarify that for the POAP team. And they had been expanding, like the way the chains, they had expanded out to like base and different chains as well, where you could do POAPs. So they were more shareable and open and things like that. So they've been working towards this for a while. So I think this is actually a good thing. But moving on to things that are shutting down. We're shutting down, boy. JJ and I set out to build the best. This is from PFista, our friend PFista, also known as Fista. JJ and I set out to build the best social listening tool for Farcaster, one that could alert you to any keywords that you cared about and one that provided the best search experience here. This wouldn't have been possible without the openness of the Farcaster protocol and more specifically, this great community. Thank you to all who supported our product along the way, who tried it, who recommended it, and who engaged in the conversation. I'm so thankful that through this project, we were able to meet so many amazing humans along the way, a win in my book. JJ and I haven't stopped building. We have a few other active projects if you want to check them out. Check.supply, webhook.rodeo, walkietalkie.app. And he also shared, he was tagging all kinds of folks on different things. And this was ours, which I'm not going to put the sound on, but this was one of the many times that we talked about PFista. And that's why I refer to him. So there you go. But it was a very cool tool, really helpful, especially because search was basically non-existent at one point. So
actually non-existent.
Actually non-existent, and then might as well.
And when it was existent, it was just bad. Like
bad.
You couldn't use search, so we needed Buoy.
Yeah. It's much better now. So
yeah. It does feel like there's a lot of sunsetting news.
It is. There is.
Which is
Yeah.
just kind of, I think, part of cycles, and it happens. Not every product will last forever, but can we just shout out all the incredible builders, especially the early ones who are kind of building things.
Absolutely.
And I'm so bittersweet to see projects shutting down, but it's also, I get it. So
yeah, totally get it. It happens. All right. A few other notes on some other builders building things that aren't shutting down quite yet. This is from 2chans, also known as Thumbs. I've set out my abridged.tech email for the past week now, and every day it's such a big relief to not have to spend 5+ hours of prep video. Instead, put 30 minutes into email prep every day. Have yet to update people on other platforms, so I have to get out a video there, but baked in a welcome email for new subscribers today. And plan is to set up like a Discord or IG group to just chat with people who want to talk more about the feed. So there you go.
I feel like you should funnel people to Farcaster, 2chans for that chat, but
2chans.
like a channel maybe.
A channel,
I guess they don't
if you
want
will.
it public. Everyone wants the private group chat for
they do.
like the let's talk about the thing.
Yeah.
So he used to make these daily tech,
maybe a little
videos.
XMTP just to make it, different and new and fun. I don't know.
By the way,
continue for those who don't know what he's been doing.
Total aside, I'm trying to work on a little proof of concept, like a little random. I call it a hackathon, but there's no hackathon. It's just a side hack project. I'm doing it. I'm wanting to work on an XMT project related to Farcaster.
Oh, cool.
I haven't told you about
what were you going to say though? You were starting to say about
just that 2chans was making videos, daily videos. First of all, he was making really good, funny, entertaining meme videos.
Entertaining.
He's so talented. And then he got all serious on us and was making tech discourse videos to educate you about what's happening in the tech discourse, so you don't have to scroll Twitter all day. And
I think
I'm glad he's admitting
he
it
saw
took 5
Elon say
hours.
this, and he went, "I'm going to do that." Yeah.
Yeah, and he did it.
Yeah.
You can just do things. So
you can just do things.
Yeah, check out his site. He's awesome.
Abridge.tech. This from our friends at Splits, who are always shipping, always shipping. Solana sends are live. You can send funds to any Solana address directly from your Splits account. No manual bridging or swapping. No need for a pass-through EOA. By the way, I did hear there was another cast from the Splits team at some point talking about the Bridge app or something like that. That may or may not have been related. But very cool. They're always shipping. If you haven't checked out Splits teams, go check it out. Very cool and useful tool that I still think is in beta. So you may need access, but if it's something you're interested in, reach out. I'm not sure. Anybody sign up now? I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know.
This was cool. Cameron said, I realized I was monitoring the situation so hard that I might as well do something useful with it. And he created an Iran war clock. And it's pretty cool. It tells you time since the start. And then it also has some data and data points as to estimates. So how many times it's shifted timelines. Are you playing a clock sound? Or is it? Oh, maybe it's this. I guess it's
no.
The site. This is new. I didn't hear this. He must have just added the clock sound on it.
Is it a ticking?
It is a ticking. And I was like, wait, do you hear a ticking? Is it just me? But it also has, it's just taking in different data and extrapolating that into timeline of predicted end dates and things like that. So kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Go check that out. And
it's not a political site. It's just
not a political site. It's
information gathering. He did a nice job with it.
Yes, and who is a veteran
no
as well.
goats eating the website either.
No goats eating this one. And this is Cameron, who's also a U.S. veteran. I don't know if it was the Army. I'm not sure if it was Army or Marines. Army. This just because it's funny. Chris Carella posted a fast food burger hierarchy: Shake Shack, Five Guys, Whataburger, In-N-Out, McDonald's, and Wendy's. And Giuseppe, our resident chef, said, you must be ranking French fries. In other words, he did not agree with this ranking. So I asked, and he ranked In-N-Out, Shake Shack, Five Guys, Whataburger, Wendy's, McDonald's for the burgers. So
the McDonald's CEO agrees.
Yeah. And I he does seem to agree. from his facial expressions when he was actually eating them. And I would say that felt more accurate, honestly. Did feel much more accurate. So this is just, I pulled this because, a chef kind of basically ratioing C. Corella was just fun for me. Honestly, that's all it was. It was just fun for me. And this, finally, I created Farcaster, which is, so I used to use Deform, which became Megaphone, to do things like get players for, a place for players to sign up to play Cast Out, or when I was doing poker. And it would pull in, you could sign in with Farcaster and it would pull in like the important data that I needed from that, as well as you could add wallets and other questions. So I created a very basic version that I'm going to continue to iterate on. The basic version took me a long time to get to where it is right now. But I have, for now, because it's in still beta and I'm still testing it, it is token gated. So you do need 50 million Formcaster to use it. To create one, you can fill out forms, anyone can fill them out. But to create a form, it is sort of token gated with NANAR score and holding a certain amount of the token. But I am looking for people to test this. So if you have a good use case, you can actually go in and fill out a form and tell me you have a good use case, and I'm going to give you free access to it because I need more people to test it. So there you go. But go check it out. It'll be in the show notes, a link to it, or you can look in the NounishProf channel where I put stuff that I build now. I've had that channel forever, and now I have good uses for it. So there you go. So I finally got it working. I was having issues. I built it through NANAR Mini App Studio, and it's very basic, but it works. And that's
It was
all we need
nice
right now.
Ba-
Tried.
I think when you're building mini apps, you want it to be basic. If you try to put too much in, it's too confusing.
Yeah.
Dan used to give good advice for mini app design. It's like one thing, have it do one thing. So it was like super clear how to use it. It works. Like the fact that this is built using NANAR Studio, and with the token, it's very, very.
And it does have a little dashboard for if it's your form. You can see, I actually really like the dashboard for your form. It actually looks it's very well, like it looks pretty. I was like, oh, that looks kind of pretty. I like that. It looks good. So, and it tells you all the different things, and then you can export the data, sort of. Gives you a display. It doesn't actually export for various reasons. But anyway, that's my little Formcaster. And if you have a use case, please fill out this form and I will get back with you and give you access to create your own. And with that, that's it. And the other reason is that, like, so if you go in and fill out a form, you don't have to tell me your username, your anything, your wallet. It pulls that data in from your social graph. So that's the bonus there. So there you go. All right, Adrienne, anything else on this fabulous Friday?
Right. So like with Base App, if they're moving more towards web standards, it just means you have to then go back to connecting wallet, but then you don't know who the user is still, right? You don't get identity.
That's a good point. Yeah, probably
like
not. You just probably get a wallet.
And I'm also fine with this. So I'm building my mini app. I'm creating a web app for it. So
you were already kind of thinking that already. So I remember that. Yeah.
So it'll be fine. I'll get it to work on the Base App. I'm starting with
I
Twitter
like how
first.
she went back to something we talked about an hour and a half ago.
I'm still pissed.
She's still there. She's still way back there. We played a whole game.
Can we get Gigamesh's music back on?
We can.
Can we close out with some happy, with a dance party?
We absolutely can do that. Let me hopefully. Oh, I got to reshare though. Hold on one second.
Well,
yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, this episode was sponsored by Word a Day.
It was
Word a Day.
Word a Day. Go play.
If you are watching on Twitter,
Word.
you can sign up to be on the wait list now. So that's exciting.
Yeah, you can go play Word a Day. Yeah.
It is.
All right.
All right.
And this go check out One of Them Nights by our friend Gigamesh, who
It's just one of them nights.
all right, and it's a little Friday jam for all of you as we head out. All right, everybody.
It's just one of them nights.
We'll be back
One of them nights be like
Monday.
getting down.
Yes, Monday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you then. Happy
We have any
Friday,
guests
everybody.
next week?
I'm working on it. Do we have any
Same.
guests next week, Adrienne?
Same. I'm working on it too.
Hopefully we're not scheduling anybody at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We'll see ya. Have a good weekend. Happy Friday. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and Hypersub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates and add our mini app on Farcaster and the base app. Until next time, bye-bye.